Hey, what's going on YouTube? Benaris here with another exciting StarCraft 2 broadcast. Today we kick off our coverage of MLG Providence with a best-of series between EG.IdrA of Team Evil Geniuses, spawning as the Red Zerg up in the top right position, facing off against oGsSKMC, the Blue Protoss, down in the bottom left here today on Xel'Naga Caverns. Now, I want to clarify one thing real quickly because I've had a lot of players actually message me and ask me what the deal is with MC, SK Gaming, and Team Old Generations. First, let me clarify. OGS is a South Korean-based StarCraft 2 team, for those of you that don't know. SK Gaming is a German-based multi-game esports team. They do Counter-Strike, StarCraft 2, stuff like that. And, of course, MC is the actual player. So now you know the parties involved. MC, his primary team is Old Generations. Okay, that's who he's been with for a long time. SK Gaming partnered up with OGS to help support MC in foreign league play. And in return, MC represents SK Gaming primarily in those foreign league tournaments. So in tournaments like the GSL in South Korea, MC represents OGS. I realize this is a little kind of confusing, but basically the long story short, the end result is that it's helping MC, and that's the biggest thing here, because MC is basically getting support to help go to these foreign tournaments and play in things like MLG, etc. And of course, SK Gaming is, getting, they're getting themselves a good player to work with, MC. Also, they're doing the same thing with Nada. So I'm really, it just helps all around. The biggest thing, though, is that it helps MC. Being the player, he's the real kind of cornerstone here. So he's coming out on top of this, and that's what I'm really happy about. So that is the Cliff's Notes about the whole deal between MC, OGS, and SK. And now that I've taken up a good minute to explain that, let's talk about the builds here. We have EG.IdrA opening up very first with a conservative style play, getting that spawning pool extractor. Going to be trying to get that metabolic boost here in just a second. Likely see those drones transferred off. Now, MC down here, on the other hand, he's opening up with a very standard build. He's going to be going for the wall off. Now, we're going to be waiting to see in the coming moments what he's going to be opening up with. I say that because you can tell a little bit earlier with the Zerg, what the Zerg is going to be doing compared to the Protoss. Protoss and PvZ, they have the same opener for several different builds. Whereas, the Zerg player, you can even assume go hatch first, which probably wouldn't be doing against MC. MC, he's a very well-rounded player. If he sees you going hatch first, he's probably gonna punish you for it. He could also go spawning pool first, then expand, if he's not going to be really committing to sending those Zerglings out to harass, which on this map, you probably wouldn't see him do spawning pool first against MC, but certainly can happen, especially in the larger maps. But for now, we see that MC is going to be actually going ahead, probably getting out some sentries here in the coming moments. We do have that Stalker on the way. Yep, sure enough, there's that sentry. Notice how he's just sitting on one gateway right now. Oh, one additional gateway on the way, actually. 2 additional gateways. So I think he actually could be going for some type of 3-gate expand. It's very unlikely that he's going to be going for 3-gate pressure. The fact that EG.IdrA already had that spawning pool up, getting the metabolic boost, means that he could be harassing the units all along the way and make it very difficult for MC to do that. Most likely, EG.IdrA is just going to be playing a standard macro battle. As we see right here, he is just building up. You see, he's actually, look at this. He's actually been working with a little bit of gas income this whole time. That is really curious. I'm genuinely intrigued by this move. But, this actually gets back to something I said a long time ago, and I actually had a couple people kind of be like, what are you talking about, Benaris? Basically what happens, oh man, actually this is a nice attack from EG.IdrA. He could actually pop out that Stalker. Oh yes, there he goes. Anyways, EG.IdrA is one of those players, and I would say there's not a lot of them, but he's one of those players that can get a build so precise that he only needs a drone for a certain amount of time. He knows the feel of how much gas he'll have, when he knows how much gas he will need and when he will need it by, and so he can commit a lesser amount of drones. Now, like I said before, some people didn't quite believe me, but I mean, this is true. This is actually, this isn't my saying. This is actually something that I learned from Day 9. And, of course, he is just like really good at analyzing StarCraft 2. And having watched the games for myself and seen EG.IdrA perform this, I have to say, I mean, the guy really, really is good at managing his economy. His macro in general is phenomenal, so don't put it past him to do something like this. So this is where that gas is coming into play. Notice how he's throwing down an infestation pit and an evolution chamber. Very, very, very sneaky. Also getting this gas going very quickly. Notice how he's not worried too much about the mineral line here. Is really an emphasis on the gas. So I think we're going to see a lot of infestors coming very quickly. Now let's look at MC and see how this will play out for him. Right now he is working on a robotics facility. Other than that, sentries. That's it. He has a very weak defensive force. This is really good for fighting off Zerglings. Okay? You know, can deal with roaches to an extent, force fielding and piecing them apart, but very, very costly to do that. The only real low tier unit that they're good against at this stage would be the Zergling, and right now, those infestors, well, I mean, they're going to be in a great position to do lots of damage. We do have the pathogen glands upgrade on the way. That's going to give those infestors an additional 25 energy right out of the gate, meaning that EG.IdrA will have a bunch of battle-ready infestors here as soon as they pop out, just a very short amount of time. So Burrow is on the way as well. That means we could actually see some harassment coming from EG.IdrA, some surprise maneuvers. I think he's really banking on the fact that MC won't be expecting this. Let's actually look up here. We do have an observer on the way, which right now MC has no idea what is coming his way at this stage of the game. 5 additional infestors, several Zerglings as well. He has just cut drone production at 46. We have 42 workers for MC. And now here comes that observer. It's going to be coming over here to the third base first, checking that out. Nothing there. Eyeing the gold expansion. Nothing there either. Will he spot this infestor? Oh man, he does. He sees it. He knows what's going on. Notice how almost immediately he builds an immortal. One thing to note, infestors are armored units, so these things will drop very quickly to an immortal. But look at what else MC has going on here. He has a warp prism on the way, as well as several warp prisms following there. I was like, what is going on, guys? But no, he is going to be bringing those back for defense. And now here comes EG.IdrA. Notice how this observer is going to be able to come over and basically spot those infestors while they're underground. So this could turn very south very quickly for EG.IdrA. Here goes the warp prism now heading up to the north. We watch these infestors move in. I think that EG.IdrA knows this observer's here. I think he does, but there's really not a lot he can do about it. Force fields go down. I like the placement of that immortal. As we watch the warp prism come over, we see EG.IdrA moving in at the exact same time. Force field's going down as the Zerglings are completely blocked off from the fight. Great play by MC, and now he's going to be dropping these sentries as well as probably warping in some units, trying to basically secure this ramp. Sure enough, there's the force field going down as the Zerglings commit to attacking the main base. All the while, you see MC is forced to trace down here, and at the same time, managing this attack. So this is MC through and through, man. This guy is a great multitasker. Notice how up here he is really putting an emphasis on just trying to hold this ramp at all costs. This is the single biggest thing he has to worry about right now, holding this ramp. He cannot let it fall. His base, he was able to clean that up. That's fine. He has more than enough to deal with that. You see, that's fine and dandy. But now warping in a few additional zealots, he's going to be able to hold this ramp. Really, there's not a lot that EG.IdrA can do about this. He has cleaned up, and that's fine, but the warp prism, there's nothing he can do about the warp prism. He really needs to save this energy. He can't really blow it on infested Terrans because those zealots will just tear them up. And we see this, the warp prism is actually able to come over here now and warp units on both the low ground and the high ground if he needs to. Just barely able to reach that, and he's going to be able to keep on warping units in here, denying EG.IdrA the ability to defend his natural expansion. This is a brilliant move by MC. This is a very calculated attack, and there's the GG from EG.IdrA, giving MC game number 1 in this best of series. Congratulations to MC for a game very well played. Also EG.IdrA, very, very unique tactics there, man. I like that a lot. I think that versus any other player, that would have just smashed him to the ground. But this warp prism play, this two-pronged attack, you know, the defense with the immortal down there, and also dealing with the damage up here with the sentries and the force field on the ramp, just, oh man, that's brutal. So let's go on to game number 2 and see what happens next.